All right, first of all, I apologize. I am sweating like crazy because it's 93 degrees out here, and it's hot. We're going to talk about the Ultra Micro P51 Mustang today. This past couple weeks, I've added a bunch of airplanes to my collection that includes the T28 and this P51. We also did the review on the Champ back in Christmas, and then we have the big Guan Li airplane. And we're kind of reviewing most of them today. First chance we've had. Sorry, been a busy summer season with weddings and everything. I'm a wedding photographer, so this is the first chance we've had. I'm going to talk about what I like about the P51 Mustang Ultra Micro, because there's a bazillion reviews out there. You've seen the unboxings and all that stuff. The one thing that I will say about this airplane is that the original motor that came with the airplane only lasted 20 flights. Now, I am not a full throttle flyer. For the most part, I fly between 45 and 55% throttle. So that was a little disappointing to me that the motor only lasted that long. I did call Horizon Hobby and complain, and they were kind enough to send me a new motor. I don't think that's their normal policy, but I was very glad that they did. So here's the P51. I installed the new motor last night, and we're going to get it ready to take it up for some flights here and show you what it looks like. We have detachable landing gear. You've seen it all. One thing I would recommend, when I bought this airplane, I also bought these Thunder Power batteries, and they are amazing. They really are a lot better than the E-flite batteries. We've had a lot of problems with the E-flite batteries not lasting. This is a much better battery. So we'll pop one in here. We'll take it up for a flight. We got about 3 to 5 mile an hour winds today. It's not going to look super scale. I'll try to pop some video in there from last night when it was really calm, and you'll see some nice scale flying with the wheels off. It looks really nice when it's calm. When it's windy, the airplane looks a little funny in the air because it bounces around, and you'll see it. But here we go. So we're going to taxi down and take off. So here it is, Parkzone's Ultra Micro P51. I love this airplane. I will say that the T28 does handle better in the air. However, this aircraft is more responsive, so it's a little more aerobatic. So here we go. Take off. You can see blowing around already. Running at about half throttle. The wind's pushing me down. And I'm going to have to give it some up trim. I've got a lot of down going on for some reason. I'm going to bring it back. So you can see it bouncing around there in the wind. Not so great. Here's a nice loop. Or not. That was a loop turned into a roll.
Sorry, I'm having trouble keeping up with it, Dad.
That's okay. And I just lost my motor. Huh. How you like that? Shut it off. Okay, so, alright, take like 8. Okay, so we went home. It's a little bit later now. We're at the park that's closer to our house. We're going to do some flying with this airplane. It's still pretty windy. I used hot glue to put the new motor in yesterday. I secured it with hot glue, and I also secured the entire motor mount with hot glue, and the whole thing came apart. The motor came loose, and the mount broke loose. So some people love hot glue, but for whatever reason, for me, I just can never get it to work right. So this time I used CA glue. We should be a little bit better. So now we're going to go fly the P51. You can see it take off, land, and all that good stuff, and you can see how bouncy it is in the wind. So it's not too windy now. It's probably 1 to 2 mile an hour, gusting up to 4. There we go. A little taxi action. And that would be the CA glue that got on the wheel. Now we're going to take off and try to fly. Oh, look, there we go. Right into the sun, so now you can't see it.
Yeah, I really made me lose it.
You can see how you can hang it up there with the winds. Once again, I'm a little bit under half throttle right now. Flies nice and scale, except for that. And my motor just died again. Okay, so we found that, oops, I forgot to tape the connector for the motor. That's why the motor died at the field. So we're going to fly around the cul-de-sac a little bit. I know it's kind of low light, so you're going to have a hard time, but we're going to do some takeoff and landings. This airplane is a lot of fun to do takeoff and landings, so here we go. This airplane is great, just like the Trojan. It's a lot of fun to take off and land. It has a lot more response on the rudder than the Trojan does. perfect landing right there. But so most of the turns that I'm doing here in the cul-de-sac are rudder turns. I'm trying to keep my wings flatter so the airplane doesn't stall at the lower speeds it takes to fly in here. There we go. One last landing. Not bad. Hear a little propeller knock there, but that's good.
Okay, so I have a rant about this airplane. First of all, the motors don't last very long. Secondly, I'm having a problem now where the airplane early SLVCs. In other words, it triggers the battery alert, and the motor pulses to let you know that it's almost out of battery. And it happens after 2 or 3 minutes of flight on this aircraft. Well, I can take the battery and put in my Trojan and fly for another 7 minutes. So it's not the battery. And I've tried, 8 different batteries with this airplane. I've also replaced the motor and the gearbox to make sure it wasn't binding. And no matter what I do, I still have the problem. I called Parkzone on it. They kind of beat around the bush. They wouldn't say that there was an issue. They said, well, maybe you crashed and did damage to the airplane. And I haven't, but that's besides the point. I've crashed all my other airplanes, and I've never had that problem. And I've crashed the Trojan really bad several times, and I don't have the same problem. So there's something going on. If you Google early SLVC and the Ultra Micro P51, you will find that about 50% of the people that own this airplane have early SLVC problems. And Parkzone can say whatever they want, or Horizon or whatever, but this plane is a dud. I'm sorry. Buy the Corsair, buy the Trojan, stay away from this one because you're just going to have problems.